Good morning, everyone. This is Leslie Jouflas with Trading Live Online, and welcome back to your Daily Five. This is the fun show where we have about 10 minutes to present 5 charts, but I'm cheating today. I have a couple extra charts. So again, if anybody has any questions or you have comments, please feel free to put them in the YouTube comments. If you'd like to email me anything, there's my email right here on this slide. But today I thought I've been seeing some interesting things in some of these big tech giants, and I thought I would bring it to your attention. We're going to look at Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, Applied Materials, and Google today. All of these have some type of sideways coiling types of patterns. And as most of you know, anytime you have a sideways range coiling pattern, eventually it's going to come out of that pattern either to the upside or the downside. And these are the types of patterns that have the potential once they break out for very large moves. So we want to be aware of them, and then we can set up perimeters to kind of track the upper and the lower bounds of these. Most of them that I'm seeing might be a bit on the negative side, and there's been a lot of rotation in the markets from different sectors. When we had the larger down move a little bit earlier this year, the tech stocks really got hit. So my question is, do they have more downside to come? So let's take a look at that today. So let's start with Amazon. This is a monthly chart of Amazon, and you can see here I put in with these dashed upper and lower horizontal trend lines, the upper range and the lower range of this. But looking at the monthly chart, we're going to switch to a daily on Amazon in just a minute, but let's just take a look at a couple of the indicators that I have. We'll start with the upper panel. This is the scooter. That is StockCharts relative strength. And we can see that it's below this 70 upper bound here, and that's not extremely positive. This is a very tight coil that's been happening in Amazon. So let's go down now. Let's look at the RSI. So the RSI here, 2018, we can see a big peak here, and we can see a peak here. And from this peak in 2020, the RSI has been making a steady decline. Now, it's still at a 50-ish level. That's still a bullish level, and we can see these lows if we go all the way back. You can see my cursor here back around 2010, 2012. We can see that that base has been in a support area for the RSI. So we want to carefully watch that level. If that breaks to the downside with a downside break of this range, that's going to be a negative indication for this. We might see a fairly good size retracement in Amazon, but again, sometimes these things can also offer good buying opportunities. The MACD here has made on the monthly chart momentum lows. The on-balance volume is still turned to the upside, and so that actually is a positive. If this were to turn down with a break, then that would change my view of that. And the money flow, you can see, has been also declining down here. So we want to keep an eye on that as well. Now let's look at the daily chart so we can get a little bit of detail. Now that we know what that big coiling pattern is, let's take a look at it from a daily perspective. So back here, this was a buy pattern. This was the March 2020 lows. I've got a horizontal trend line here. This was an ABCD buy pattern that led, to the upside move here. And Amazon started going into this range here, and you can see all the back and forth movement. Well, this pattern here, this is an ABCD sell pattern that occurred and completed last year around July, and that's been the peak of this range so far. Another, ABCD sell pattern, a retest of that high. So that's what gives us that upper horizontal bound right now. Now, the lows here, I've got two areas marked in, one coming across right here. And we can see that that has been broken, but it's popped back up to, above that area. And then these lows here, just right around that 2,700 area, are going to be the lows to watch. Now, I've done a measured move projection. If there's a break, and that's on a closing basis, below these lows, and projected a potential price target coming back into a test around those March 2020 lows. Now, looking at the RSI here on the daily chart, I've marked in a couple of areas. Let's start right over here from about the March 2020 lows. RSI made a low here and worked its way up and created a bullish range here. And then as price was moving sideways to down, you can see that the RSI peaks were staying below that range. And then as the price came up here, made a nice momentum high, but so far there's been no follow through with a higher price to the upside. So this lower RSI trend line down here, this bolder one, that's the one to watch with any break below here. Now, of course, prices can always break to the upside out of a range. They can go either direction. And if that was the case, then where these dash lines are, RSI would have to be exceeding these levels in order to make a convincing move to the upside. Okay, so let's move on now. So now we're going to take a look at Apple. So another type of a coiling type of a panel pattern with an upward trending parallel channel. And so this has been in this range for quite a long time as well. Just about almost the same time as Amazon went into that range, Apple went into this upward channel. There are various patterns, buy and sell patterns within this particular pattern. The last one was an ABCD buy pattern that retested the lower end of this channel and has had a retracement to the upside. Now, Apple can make another move to the upside, make a high, and still be, right at that upper trend line. However, a couple things to take note of with this chart is our RSI. Let's take a look at that. You can see the well-defined range on here. So a break of this lower trend line, a break of these lows, these are important because this is where this buy pattern formed, and you can see that buying that came into it with the long bar and the move to the upside. So the RSI, a break below this support area of the RSI with a break of this trend line, in my opinion, would be negative. Now, this on balance volume here you can see is, maybe turning to the downside, and you can see the money flow, how it's been in a decline here. So that's what I'm watching on Apple. That's the pattern. So applied materials, again, another range, and we can see the scooter up here. The scooter's in a negative territory. And what I've just, described to you with the RSI, you might be able to pick that out now. But as AMAT came up and made these highs, the RSI was making lower highs and has broken the support on this RSI here. So this lower blue dash trend line, this is the one I think to keep an eye on, and a break of that again on a closing basis may lead to more downside. This is just some Fibonacci retracement levels here. The 382 right here, price has been trying to hold on to that 382. The 0.50 would be the next, and the 0.618. Now, a lower move back down towards these highs would be a retest of where AMAT broke to the upside from the 2020 lows, and that would be right around a 0.786. But again, you can see, things turning down here in the MACD here, histogram that made momentum lows. So some of these tech giants are not looking the healthiest to me right now, and I think those downside areas should be watched. Facebook, here's a chart of Facebook. Facebook's been in the news quite often recently. Obviously, has had some issues. In fact, I just received an email in my email if I wanted to participate in a feedback group. Gee, I mean, how much time would we need for that? I would certainly have a lot of feedback. But anyway, the price is reflecting the issues, and you can see again, this is like an upward trending channel line. I don't have that upper line drawn in, but focusing here on this lower trend line where price is just trying to hold. Now, a rally on Facebook right now without breaking these lows, and where this pink dash line would be an area to watch for a potential shorting opportunity, because that's a very, very heavy monthly bar to the downside, and I would expect a lot of resistance. You can see back here this clustering area. That was that last consolidation before that move to these highs, and then it just totally broke. So this would be an emotional area, price area to be watching. And again, a strong close below here would indicate more downside for Facebook. The RSI, even though 40 is considered a bullish kind of area for RSI, the way that this RSI is acted, it's not looking that bullish to me from my view. Okay. So now we're going to take a look at Google. And same thing, you can see the range. If we start at the top here with our top panel with a StockCharts scooter, we can see that that's below the bullish zone. You can see the RSI trended down to the downside. With this little rally to the upside, RSI did not move much to the upside with that. So again, a break below this trend line and a break of the RSI to lower lows below this little support area. And this may also, you might be able to apply a measured move with this, taking the height of this pattern and projecting it down for a potential target to the downside. But we can see also, the momentum lows made on the MACD, on balance volumes turning down, and the money flow is also turning to the downside. So those are the ones that I have for you today on your daily 5, and we'll follow up with these. Oh wait, I have one more. Microsoft. Sorry about that. I almost shorted you one, so to speak. No pun intended. But here's a trend line on Microsoft, and Microsoft has broken this trend line here. And that's coming back again to 2020, retested this trend line, and very similar to what we're seeing on these other tech giants in these indicators. So I think if this rallied to the upside, this may form an ABCD, what's called a Gartley cell pattern, and it would still be very close to this trend line here. But I think watching these lows right now around that 275 in Microsoft, that's the area to watch right now. So now that's it. That's the charts that I had for you today on your daily 5. And again, I'm Leslie Jouflas with Trading Live Online. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon on another episode. Thanks for watching.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.